gentlemen, and welcome to the news.
Yes.
Man, it's a jam-packed week. For those of you that have been following along since the beginning, I still think it's amazing that we have news to talk about, but this week is no exception. We got a ton of news, but before we get to the news, are you queued up and ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. And we're back. What is the weather like today, Fernando?
Right now it's a 66, believe it or not.
It feels gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing.
These mornings have been spectacular. I know some of you out there got snow this week, which, I mean, it's April. So anyone out there that thinks global warming isn't a thing, go with God, my friend, because
RVH.
the world is definitely changing in many ways. And that being the case, that brings us to our first story, which totally has to do with scenarios such as this.
Yes.
And that is more chip factory problems. Oh my God, really? Haven't we had enough? Haven't we been made to suffer? I mean, chip factory problems are hitting the new headlines on a weekly, if not daily basis as shortages continue to mount.
Yeah.
Last week, Taiwan, home of 2/3 of the world's semiconductor manufacturing, is experiencing severe drought.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, they don't have water. What does that have to do with semiconductors, you ask? Turns out water is a key element in chip production. Chip producers use amounts of water to clean the wafers, etch patterns, polish layers, and rinse components during the production. So basically, all of the product part of it is done with a water bath, and the fact that they have no water because of the drought means they can't produce chips. I mean, are you kidding me?
It's funny, and they talk about also like not just water, but like packaging. Like, we're short on everything.
Yeah.
You know, packaging, water, toilet paper, hand sanitizer.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I feel at this point the world is just pissed off at us. They're like, you technology mongering scumbags have polluted the planet long enough, and, we're going to give you a pandemic, and we're going to make everything else difficult as well. So, deuces, bro. You're
on your own, bro.
So... There again, I'm not that guy. Sometimes you have to sit back and go, look, I've got I don't know how much more of the dam before it just floods the whole place.
See, I always say, it's our problem. We are the problem.
Oh, 100%.
Because, you have something, plastic or whatever, and boom, you throw it in the way, or in the place that you're not supposed to, right? And we're killing this earth. So, yesterday was Earth Day, by the way.
I know, and it's funny too because they did make a personally, they should just contact Lay's. They make tons of chip all the time. I'll just state that. But anyways, that's the bad part of the news. There again,
it's just news, man.
Just get it out of the way because we got tons of amazing news to follow that. And with that, Sony introduces 3 new receivers.
Yes.
Holy cow!
Nice.
I mean. Okay, I mean, here's the funny part. If you think about it, we have all these manufacturers that are telling us, we have no radios. And here's Sony over here going, we have radios.
Not just one. 3.
So, right off the bat, we have a replacement, or they call them sister radios. I don't know what that means. I guess that means that the old ones aren't going away. But if you're familiar with the Sony line, we have the 8.9-inch receiver, an updated version of that. And one of the things that is unique about that is it has an HDMI port located on the screen now, which I think is wonderful because, for one, there's no really good... I mean, we have that amp one that's like this, which, there again, thousands of Chinese companies seem to make that, HDMI dash mount piece. That no one uses.
Right.
I mean, really. So everybody wants HDMI. Nobody uses HDMI.
I'm not like really like on board on the HDMI on top of the bottom of the screen because it's just wire.
Yeah.
know?
Oh, no,
right.
it's-
And HDMI is not small wire.
No, and
Right?
it's definitely the phone pole appeal.
Yes.
However, it's nice that it's there for the one time when the
Yeah.
person goes to use it. And let's be honest, if you're a guy using HDMI all the time, you're gonna get one where it's in the back. This ain't. But if you're the guy that's like, we're gonna take a road trip, and the kids are like, yay, and you're like, oh, can we watch TV, Daddy? You're like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah, actually you can. And you know they plug it in and they go. So
No, why not?
oh, 100%. We also have an update for the 6.9 inch. Now, what makes these radios Sony unique is that they have a top L shape build quality. It's basically a single DIN, and this almost looks like a half chassis, but it's not. It's a full chassis back as far as depth goes. A little bit shorter, but it's an L-shaped radio towards the top. Why this is important is because there are L-shaped radios towards the bottom. Those are like Alpine makes those. Honestly, that's a little bit more useful than this body style because of like most of these car manufacturers are putting single DINs behind their screens and they're usually at the bottom. So at some point I feel Sony, being the company they are, will change that, but they have this new radio here.
Yeah.
And of course they show the back of the radio. Looks like a standard back of a Sony radio.
Yeah.
And then lastly,
Two
they
USBs.
have the new entry level, which is going to be the AX150.
Yep.
Just to go back, this is the AX5600 and the AX8000.
8100.
8100, thank you, sorry. 8100. This is their new entry level into the category.
Yeah.
It does Android Auto. And there again, what these are just their, updated versions.
And then they're not bad. It's starting like a $299. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
You know, so extra USB and the HDMI. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
You know, you say the $299 price point, and that's funny because I love this story. Hold on.
Well, that's exactly. You know, you want something good, hey.
New Planet Pro brand from Big. Now I know what you're thinking. Big. Wait a minute. Are we missing like Big something? No. Big is actually the name of the group of what you're looking at here. So Big is Boss International Group. I got nothing against them. However, the name Big sounds like something you'd find in the Disney cartoon. You know, or the Lego. What was the guy's name? You know. But anyways, Boss International Group. I will say that controls Boss Audio, Planet Audio, Soundstorm, and the one that's behind our faces that I've that one.
You can move it.
That one.
9.
Yeah. They've announced that they're coming out with a new Planet Pro. Planet Pro includes the top radio and amplifier models from Planet Audio line initially, but the company will launch a new series with differentiated features in the fourth quarter. This will include new head units, amplifiers, subwoofers, and speakers. So we have that coming out. We have that to look forward to. If this is something you're gonna do. One of the things that wrong page. Jeez,
No,
man,
still,
I'll get this. There
you go.
Sorry,
guys.
button push.
First time.
One of the things that intrigued me about this was the story itself. Somebody had put a comment down, and they brought up a very interesting point. Companies like Big and some of the other manufacturers have somehow figured out how to release radios in a time where we can't get chips and all this other stuff. So either A, they bought up a ton of chips beforehand, or B, they got the inside scoop on where to get chips.
So what I was thinking
they got
is
their stuff together.
So what I was thinking is they already have these radios, and because of the pandemic and everything got pulled down or pulled back on the shipping department area, and they just still holding in there. They just waiting for the shipment to come in, and boom, they release it.
Yeah, I mean, but there again, this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not like overnight, like, oh my gosh, we don't have chips. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, the ACAM fire happened a while ago. And we know that the lead time on these types of radios isn't a really long time. But, I mean, the amount of product that these companies are putting out is pretty hard to believe.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like I get their price points and their value-added proposition.
Totally. Yeah.
It's just funny how they're on point with this stuff, and like Pioneer won't have a radio until August.
Now,
You know,
now my other question is: did they using the same chip, or it's a different chip? It's a chip.
I'm sure. I'm sure
they can actually, you know, just like, hey, nobody wants this chip. I take it, put it in my radio, and still sell.
Well,
tons
I think
of
it is a
I don't know.
chip, as you say, because you know, yeah, they found a supply of outdated old chips. I don't think that's the case, but it's probably the case. I mean, you know, they're always 2 or 3 generations back as far as the new. They're not cutting edge. There's no question about it. Like, you know, when you look at those radios, I would equate them to, let's say, a 3-year-old version of what the big guys are bringing out now, which 3 years ago wasn't a terrible radio. So I mean, these things are getting better as time goes on. But then again, who knows? I mean, that's just pure speculation.
And the big pro that they're trying to come out is because now it's MAP protected.
Yes.
So only dealers.
MAP stands for minimum advertised price. So basically what that means is when you go on Amazon to buy this radio, it's going to be a fixed price, and they're not going to be able to like advertise it,
like lower.
You know,
it.
so they're gonna police that.
Yeah. So us as a retailer, we able to. You know, be at the part
if it's a $199 price point,
correct.
Everyone has to technically sell it for $199. However, there's that guy that's going to be like, I'm going to sell it for $170. He just
totally.
Can't advertise.
Right, correct.
And this has been Business Talk with Dean and Fernando.
All right, let's go to the next one.
On to the story that honestly, this one here,
yeah,
I like this one the most, and I'm also shocked by this one the most. Like this one, when I saw it, totally took me off guard, and I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What? And MB Quartz adds new Jeep kit. What?
MB Quartz, it's back.
Okay. Where to start on this just is so much mind-blowing.
Yes.
Okay, so this week, for those who don't know, or this weekend, is Jeep Bash, or Jeep Beat, or Jeep Beach 2021 is happening this weekend in Daytona Beach. So if you have a Jeep and you want to find Jeep people, Jeep stuff, it's the largest Jeep gathering on the planet Earth.
It is?
I have no idea. I'm just making it sound really cool. Anyways, it's this weekend in Daytona. If you'd like to meet Jeff Smith, he will be out there at the Stinger booth. They'll be talking about the High 10. They have like 3 or 4 Jeeps that they bring out there.
Nice.
But this is purposely built Jeep for the JL and the Gladiator JT. This product here is, alright, so let's just go to the website and take a look at it, because I don't even want to read what they wrote. It just blows my mind. So they've released a handful of products that, let's be honest, this is just crazy. And the reason why this irritates me so much is that MB Quartz did this, all right? Nothing against MB Quartz.
I don't think it's gonna be like irritation on that. Why? Why has to be irritation?
Irritation?
Yeah, I mean.
It's irritating because somebody like Rockford Fosgate, who has all the tooling to do this, you know, they make side-by-side plastics, like, till the cows come home. Couldn't take the most popular vehicle and make a system for it. Alpine is so, they're dabbling in this, and it's so annoying. It's like, guys, stop dabbling in this. They make the new 6.5s to go on the top. They make nothing for the dash. You know, it's like, give us a 3.5. Oh, well, we'll make a tweeter. Give us a pod for that. Ooh, we're not going to do that. It's like, come on, guys. So, they're even Stinger, who like claims to be like, we're the new Jeep guys. They don't have these. They have plastic manufacturers. They make dash kits, for God's sakes. You trying to tell me they can't whip one of these out?
Hey.
I mean, great for MB Quartz.
I think it's great for MB Quartz. So they're
going to sell the hell out of this.
These companies, they can see like, oh my God, we thought, you know, like crazy.
Yeah.
Because these guys are,
they're going to
looks like a factory grill.
Yeah. So it's not that these parts aren't available from other manufacturers. Like there's a company that makes the rear speaker pods right now, SSV Works, and then Metra makes a speaker enclosure. And you know, there's companies that make 3.5s to fit in the dash. Nobody makes a 6x9 mount for the rear, so this is pretty cool. Universal 6x9 mount. I mean,
I think I saw something about 6x9 bracket, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen one. So if somebody else, I'm sure somebody else is making it because let's be honest,
Maybe
these
Metra.
guys have to buy it from somebody. But we get a 6x9 bracket, awesome.
Yeah.
We get a 6. Now, this is where I think everyone is kind of falling shy on. They make this bracket for the 6x9 in the top. Totally understand that. It unscrews, this screws in.
Yeah.
But what nobody is making is a replacement grill for the front. I feel that is the one thing I was really hoping when I saw, oh, they're making replacement grills for the front. Because the front is a little tiny factory 4-inch. When you put a 6x9 behind it, you're still asking that, I'm sorry, 6.5. You're still asking it to come through that dash. And we know from experience that it doesn't do that great of a job. Why no one has made a screw-on panel for the front of that you just cut out the factory hole to get that big 6.5 sound coming through? Because, I mean, they, like, Rockford does that for Harley. Everyone does it for the bags. They literally give you a template to cut out the top of a Harley bag, which is, like, unbelievably, I mean, it's like, oh, you want to talk about scary? It's like, we're going to cut the top of this $40,000 motorcycle. Yeah, woo, let's do it. All right, so what they've done is they're again taking a page out of Rockford's book, and they've put together kits. So right off the bat, you can buy just the raw plastic, which I know we'll probably be doing. You can get just the 3.5, which is pretty nice. And then they make loaded enclosures, so you can get the 6.5 loaded in the box.
Yeah.
You can get the 6x9 loaded into the rear panel, and this is a coaxial 6.5. But then up here, they make a 3-way set. Oh my God, wow! Like, this is the one thing Kenwood hasn't figured out yet, to make a 6.5 with the C2 and the C3 little add-on speakers. Kicker didn't figure it out with their 2.5 either, which I was like, come on guys, really? But, so you get a 3.5-inch coaxial and a 6-inch mid-bass, so you get a 3-way. No, it's a 3-way. You get a because it's 2-way here. One, that's 3. So you get a full front 3-way speaker upgrade for $400. Then they make a 2-subwoofer system for underneath the seat of a Gladiator. This is obviously going to, what size is this?
That's a 10. No, I'm sorry, 2.8.
Those are 2.8.
That's a 2.8.
So you
perfectly
get
fine.
And there again, it's a plastic box that goes up underneath the seat. I'm sure it fits way better than the wood ones we've been using. You can buy the full speaker upgrade kit, which comes with the 3-way set for up front, the 6x9s. Then you get into the amplifier kits. You can just, for the Gladiator, buy the subwoofer with the sub amp. You can buy the highs with the highs amp. According to this, it's an EQ'd amplifier. I didn't get real deep into it to find out like if it has a DSP or anything like this, but this, to me, is one of the things like that Rockford is missing out on with their new amplifiers that they came out with, because it's like, dude, you guys have the DSR-1, you have the new waterproof 1005, or 1500.5, and it has the thing on it. Is it going in this system? Click yes, and that'll automatically set up the crossover points for you, so that you don't have to screw with it. They've made this plug and play, flick and run system, which to me is great. But it's like I'm sitting there going, okay, listen, they're going into the same thing. Like if you have a Polaris Razor or whatever it is. Why would you not take and put a DSR-1 in there, tune the thing, and say, just like the Audison, Forza, and Prima do, it's like, are you doing this system? Yeah. Okay, turn it to dips, flick it to switch number 2, and that'll set everything up for you. And it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. It's like, we know it's going in this vehicle. There's no guesswork. Click the dial.
Done.
Or download it onto a thumb drive and plug it into the side of the amplifier. I didn't understand why they didn't take it that one step further and be like, we're not going to be awesome. We're going to be effing awesome. So it seems like they might. I don't know enough about this yet. I mean, this is brand new. So it says tuned, which we all know is a word that gets confused with setting the crossovers.
Correct.
Which technically isn't tuned.
Like right now, forget about the tune and everything. Just the package,
concept, yeah.
the concept they came out with the 6x9, the brackets in the front, the 3.5, the subwoofer box.
So
It's like
the final system, the Mac Daddy system, is $16.99.
It's for the A speaker upgrade.
Yep. With the amplifier.
With the amplifier, it has to be working with the OEM unit.
Yeah, so these are that's where this gets kind of
Confused.
So there's been other companies that have done that. Like it's okay. So look at the plug and play systems that Kicker makes for factory upgrade.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is going to be marketed heavily towards Jeep dealers.
Oh,
like,
totally.
I'm sure that there's brackets and everything for this that's just going to like bolt into a Jeep, plug into the factory radio. I don't know if they're doing some kind of Amp Pro style thing where they're reflashing the radio.
Yeah.
Because we all know that's like super easy to do in a Jeep now.
We have to go Jeff later and say like, hey buddy, did you see this?
I'm sure he has. I mean, it's not like he.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, did you already saw those? Ah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, good for MB Quart. You know, hopefully other companies like Alpine that he's really into Jeeps. And now, of course, like Stinger, that is like following this path, they really go through all the way and come out with like a good solution for everyone.
So Paul won't order everything for plug and play unless somebody comes in and asks for it. When it comes to like Jeep systems that we do, most of those guys that come in, it's very purposeful as far as the install goes. So even though sometimes he'll put together systems that we don't like, the reason why he's done that is because we've done it in the past. And
it's like if your Dean comes into the store and is like, hey, listen, this is what we're gonna order a few of this because this is what we're gonna do, and then like, okay,
and then we'll just put those in Jeeps for the foreseeable future. That's not to say we won't order this because who knows? I'm sure it's gonna sound pretty damn good.
Yeah,
and at $1,700.
$1,700 is not bad.
I mean, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of queers the deal is that it's the factory radio. So that's the one thing we would have to investigate more to see what that means. Because there again, if the amp is like a plug-in and it has like a flashing capability built into it, that would be why it has to be connected to the factory radio.
Totally understand,
so once we know more about that, of course, we'll come back and whatever. All these high-end, very expensive speaker drivers should be high-res 40 plus standard. Listen, most of them are, but they're not going to pay the $50,000 to become high-res certified. All right, putting high-res on the side of the box means you have to sign. For one, there's criteria for that, and it has to do with Japan. All right, and there's certain things you have to do in Japan in order to be high-res certified. Do some research on it. It's not just like saying HDMI compatible or something like that. It is an expensive proposition when you decide to do that. Not all manufacturers are on board for that.
No, because in the end of the day, I mean, like you said, they probably do that, but spending like 40 grand,
50,
and just 50, okay, 50 with tax and everything
to become a member of the high-res society.
Just to have that logo in your box and be like, yes.
So not only that, each high-res piece of equipment has to be audibly listened to by the society members. All right, so it's not just like a sticker that you put on the side of the box.
Right.
It's a pain in the butt. Now, here's where the funny part becomes, because like we have that set of Katazera Pioneer speakers up there that the gentleman from Japan, the military personnel that sent us, stationed in Japan, the TSF 1740s, he shipped us for $40 high-res audio speakers.
$40.
$40.
Yep.
But there again,
80, but it's 40.
Japanese, Pioneer's part of the society. It's not real hard for them to just move it through. So I feel that they need to be a little bit more picky on that high-res certification, because some products, listen, how hard is it to just make your speaker play up to 40,000
What
hertz?
I'm thinking, like, okay, like everybody wants high-res, and you streaming from where? What do you listen to? Like.
Yes, Epsilon does own MB Quartz. Yeah,
I saw that one.
Here's the thing. the fact that they're doing it, nobody else is really the story here.
Exactly.
Not that it's an Epsilon MB Quartz product that's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever this system is for $1,700 is going to sound fine. Every bit of $1,700. Okay. We haven't done an install in a Jeep like doing that amount of work for $1,700 ever. Like when we do when we do that system in a Jeep, you're spending way more money than that, and we're putting in. But there again, we're putting in those finishing touches of
sometimes like triple the money of that, man.
Custom design specifically for you system, but not everybody wants that. Some people just want to fill holes. For that, this is going to be the system they're going to look at and go, "This is perfect."
Yeah.
You know, this is.
Totally.
And the downside to it is it's $1,700 because the reality is somebody like Alpine is going to look at this system and then they're like, "We can't do this for less than $3,000 or $4,000."
Okay,
and that's probably why they haven't done it. But
do it. Come up with something. How do you know that your customer is not going to buy it? You know?
Well, I feel like Alpine is once bitten, twice shy on all of this because the restyle campaign.
But they went crazy in that. When they came out,
but that's what these companies do.
We're gonna give you this radio, and I want you a kidney.
Yeah,
and I'm like
Well,
no.
But that's unfortunately what these companies do. They don't do proper research. They ask the wrong questions, which we know Alpine did.
Yeah.
Because Alpine didn't put CarPlay in those radios, which was stupid because they said everyone wants onboard navigation.
Yeah.
And the reality is, of course, everybody wants onboard navigation, but they want it from their phone. And I physically in person had this conversation with the Japanese guys. I'm like, you guys didn't ask the right questions. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, because they were telling me all the things they asked, and I was like, no, they want onboard navigation. They want to get it from here. And I literally took them over to the board, and this was back when the Pioneer 8000 came out for $1,000. You could buy a Pioneer 8000.
Yeah.
Or you could buy their radio for $2,500. And it was like, okay, how do I get this map on there? And they're like, you can't. I'm like, then what use does it do? Here's a $1,000 radio. Click, boom, it appears. I can't even work your volume control without it like getting logged and bogged down. I'm like, you guys are chip manufacturers. Are you kidding me? You can't make a chip that doesn't allow me to turn up the volume at a pace that the numbers on the screen can't keep up? And you want $2,500 for this? Are you freaking out of your mind? And as we found out, it didn't succeed. It didn't make it past like year 4. The new versions of that with the Jeep, they found their market there. It's a great, it's evolved.
Yeah. So like Weaver Fan says, how many people come to the store and say, I want everything high res? Some people do. Like people you have probably last week or last 2 weeks that says, I want everything to match.
Yes.
Like it has to be matching everything,
which
right?
is silly, but yes, I
and
get
it's
it.
like, and I was the same then back in like when I started like watching like car audio and everything. I'm like, it's cool that you have speakers, you have amplifiers, and you have everything.
I think you really sell yourself short when you.
But then when you start doing your research and you understand that this amplifier actually is not that much for your speakers that is like really nice, then you gotta go with another route. So. You just have to talk to the people.
Well, I don't feel like every manufacturer makes everything on the same level. And, just take the speaker manufacturers. I mean, like Focal makes amplifiers and DSP, which are great. They're great products. But most people don't use their DSP, which is for whatever reason. Or they use their amplifiers. I mean, they make fabulous amplifiers, but their speakers are what drive them. Morel, they make amplifiers, but their speakers are what drive them. Rockford makes amplifier, speakers, and subs, and a ton of Marine and Harley stuff. We're gonna keep that out of this equation just to keep it 12 volts, so to speak. But they're known for their subs. They're known for their amplifiers.
Well, they're trying to come out with a T5, right? That was like the high-end speaker.
Yeah,
and it never worked like what they think they want to work. So.
Yes, the store demo display for the Alpine Restyle was really nice. We had one on display. It looked amazing. It was gorgeous. But there again, it's like it was just a hard sell.
It was.
It was just tough. I mean, I still think we have some of them in stock.
No.
Did we get rid of them all?
Yeah.
I hope we got rid of them all because God, those were expensive. We tested both of them, and unfortunately, they both were. Anyways,
yeah,
that's that, guys. That's what we're looking at. That's the news. That's the news for Friday. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the news. We had a great time. We appreciate you guys tuning into this. Tomorrow is Saturday, which means over on the regular 5-Star channel, we do the Q&A show. So we got an hour of Q&A coming to you at 6 o'clock where we get to have a lot of fun because, let's be honest, YouTube is a fun place to be.
It is.
If you didn't catch Reverse Polarity last night over on the High Five Vega Network that he and I do on Thursday nights, make sure you go check that out. We had an announcement. There's a really cool thing that he and I are going to be doing that I'm super excited about, and I want all you guys to be a part of it. Tell your friends. This might be an excuse to get your wife or kids involved. If your kids are older, a lot older, they don't mind profanity.
So don't bring the kids.
Don't bring the kids. Anyways, it might be fun. Who knows? We might review a Disney movie. But definitely head over and check that out. And
I can't believe that. Did this to the kid. Yeah.
Hey, man.
All right,
it's my center channel, bro.
Exactly.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here later today, possibly on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on 5-Star, the number 5-Star on Instagram.
That's
and,
right.
of course, enjoy. We're out. Bye.
Bye, guys.